Hi, my name is Jennifer Cruz, and I would like to share with you guys a bit of my testimony on how Jesus Christ saved my life. It started a year ago where I was deeply depressed. My cousin had just passed away and I had began practicing witchcraft. I was so depressed and I didn't feel like I had any hope. I began to worship a false god and I started practicing witchcraft with the spirit of death, and my life just became like a pit of just despair. I was working at a dealership and I was getting treated so unfairly, and I remember looking up one day at the sky and asking God, do you see how they're treating me? And I felt so much sadness inside. I remember a week later I met this coworker. Her name is Jennifer as well, and she began preaching the gospel to me and reassuring me how much God loved me and how much God saw me. And I felt so touched, I felt so seen, and I just felt so much like relief that God did hear me, God did see me. I remember her giving me this book called Jesus Calling. I would read it every morning as a daily devos, but I was still practicing what I was doing. I remember she invited me to a baptism one day at the beach, and I was hesitant to go, but I decided to go. I remember going and confessing to her everything that I had been practicing and doing, and she told me to repent, she told me to renounce, and I did, and she was able to baptize me, and when she baptized me, I felt the love of God for the first time. It was such an overwhelming feeling of peace and joy and love, and I didn't want to go back into what I was doing. I wanted to follow God. So from then on, I began to look for churches to go to, and I ran across Jesus Center, which I now go to every Sunday. And it was just such a beautiful experience that God was able to turn my mess into something good. And I was able to join church camp. Now I go to church camp. From living that lifestyle and practicing those things to worshiping that, God has me here attending a church, getting to know the Father's heart, just getting to know what it's like to be a daughter, what it's like to be loved by God. And when I say God redeems, He redeems, but not only redeems, He restores everything that the enemy takes from you. God gives it right back because of His grace, His mercy. It's just so everlasting. And I would just encourage you guys as well to just call on Jesus, go to God. He saves and He restores.